of today's webinar. Yeah, so this was the journal overview of today's webinar. So see, I would not be talking about the basics, right? Because it is not like you can say the core basics, right? Because you can find them in the book, right? We would be straight away heading to the charts because I don't want that you guys, I don't want like anything we would be discussing upon like MS Paint or I should be drawing something and explaining you. Let's see that particular setup live on the charts, right? Let's start with some, let's say, types of CPR first, and we would directly see how these particular CPRs are formed, right? And secondly, we would also see that how this particular setup can give you a edge over the markets, right? So let's start it. And yeah, so just give me a confirmation if you see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So let's start with the types of CPR, right? So here you can see a chart, right? Here you can see a chart. Now let's apply only daily CPR, right? Let me remove everything from here. Okay. So see guys, let me, okay. So have a look here. What all you can observe here, right? There are a set of three lines, right? Which are moving in some different formations, right? You can see them as ascending, descending, inline, right? So let's talk about the first kind of CPR, right? So this is nothing but what you call, see, basically there are two types which across which the entire concepts of CPR revolve, right? First is what do you call it as your narrow CPR, right? Second is what we call as wide CPR. Now understand one thing. What is a narrow CPR? Let's see here. See, so currently, if I mark this particular thing, right? This is a form of uh, narrow CPR, right? Now, what does this indicates? What uh, like what picture, or you can say what kind of indication or what kind of analysis is based behind this particular set type of CPR, right? So narrow CPR is nothing but the range between the top central and the bottom central gets very very narrow, right? And to be very very specific, you must have read in the book, you must have saw some videos or lectures, or you might have gone across materials relating to CPR. But have you ever imagined that why are those CPR getting contracted or expanded, right? Why is it so? Why is this particular CPR is narrow, right? But why not this, right? Why not every CPR is narrow, and why not every CPR is wide, right? So the simple thing is, while you see the calculation for CPRs, right? Now you can find these in two ways. Either you can Google it, right? Or simply head forward to the book called Secrets of Pivot Boss by Franklin Ochoa, right? He has given like a magic formula to the world of trading, and his contribution is well known in the Wall Street, right? but some people have molded or twisted this particular concept, and they have come up with something new concepts. But the base is around CPRs, right? So one such guy, which I can remember now, is Manoj Kumar, right? The Indian Scorpion or something by that name. You can find him on YouTube, right? So technically, coming back to the first CPR is narrow CPR. So now narrow CPR basically depends, or it indicates there that the previous day range, I mean, that this CPR is narrow. 14th October CPR is narrow, right? So what does this mean? 13th October, 13th October had a range which was very, very close, right? Now, how you can say that, let's say we are talking about HDFC Bank, right? Now you might say that HDFC Bank opened at around, you can say, 6:30, 16:30, made a low of 16:10, right? Or you can even say it opened at 16:30. It went and made a low at 15:70, right? But it closed back, it recovered and closed back, you can say, near to 16:25 or 16:24, right? Now, what is important here is the open and the close, right? The high and the low is important for the calculation, but what you have to observe here is the open and close. Why? Because see, whenever there is a formulation of CPR, right, if you see, the major weightage is given to the closing price, right? So so the entire day, if the price is going across, you can say it is hitting UC, it is hitting LC, right? It doesn't matter where it is going, but ideally what matter is the closing price, right? Because if the closing is far from the open, definitely it has to be a wide CPR, correct? But if the if the close is somewhere near to the opening price of the CPR, definitely it would say that it has a particular range for the next day, right? Now the high and low values would certainly be used for, you can say, for placing the CPR at a particular height, right? And that is why you can see the formulation as ascending, descending, right? This is ascending, right? This is descending. These two CPRs, that is 8th and 9th, 8th and 11th, right? So what do we call 11th? It is like a form of descending CPR, right? Or these from year 28th of September, these are a form of descending CPRs, right? And from year, that is 4th October, this is a series of ascending CPRs, correct? So now narrow CPR is used for determining the trend of that particular day, right? What can the price do, or what can the script do in that particular day? That is intraday, right? So certainly whenever you come across narrow CPR, it will generally tend to say you that it might be a trending day, right? The price might expand or the range might expand, correct? And similarly is the case, vice versa is the case for wide CPR. That is, one such wide CPR is here, right? Let me clear this off. So yeah, look here. One such CPR is here, that is wide. See, this is a form of wide CPR, right? The thing which you see here in the encircle form is a wide CPR. That is the CPR on 12th of October, right? Now, generally, what does wide CPR means to you, right? Now, I had told you a few minutes back that how open and close are used, right? And how the high and low, that is the range of that particular day, is used, right? So going by that particular logic, let's see something interesting here. So what do you why do you expect the price or the CPR to be wide, right? So the simple answer here should be simply, if you do not have candles, if you do not have anything on the chart, just there is a CPR and you have to indicate that particular, you have to like have a certain kind of probability or certain percentage of probability to just say that yes, this particular day might be this, or this particular day have that particular range, or it might be trending, it might be consolidating, whatever, right? But seeing this particular CPR, you should be able to gauge in that the open and low was far away, right? So first, the open and the low were not close to each other, correct? So that is why we are getting a wide CPR. That's the first thing. Second, as you can see, this is a form of ascending CPR. So you can say that the range, that particular day range, that is the range of 11th October, right, was very, very, or you can say was, you can say, what, what do you say? Was like higher than the than compared to its 2 days or 3 days range, right? Certainly, or a basic idea which you can get just seeing at the form of CPRs, right? Now these are two kinds of CPRs, that is narrow and wide. Now everything which you see as a series, right, or as a, you can say, trail of CPRs, that is generally revolving around these two CPRs, right? Now let's come to the formation of CPRs, right? And we will also see how the series of CPR tell you a particular picture of the market, right? So let's go for the second topic, that is series of CPR, correct? So there are only two series, correct? Or you might say there are only three possible series in the formation of CPRs, right? The first being descending form of CPRs, right? Second being just excuse me for a minute. Sorry for the inconvenience. Just a minute, right? Yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let's go again. Yeah. So I was talking about the series of CPR, right? So there are only three possible series of CPR. That is first ascending, second descending, and third is what do you call as a inline CPRs, right? Now, what are these three particular series, and how they can help you to have a certain idea about the developing markets or the developing day, right? Or even the current day, right? So let's see the first series of CPR, that is ascending form of CPRs, right? So ascending form is nothing but when you have the current day CPR higher to its previous day CPR, right? That is, let us see what is ascending CPR here, right? First. So from here, that is 5th of October, right? First, this particular thing till here, right, is your ascending form of CPRs, right? So one, two, this is inline, one, two, three, four, right? This is ascending. This vice versa, one, two, three, four, right? This is a form of descending CPRs. And what is inline? That is this particular thing. Whenever you see a particular series of CPR which are inline, that is, it might be first inside, second outside, outside value, inside value, right? And third would be overlapping CPRs, right? We will talk about this thing later, right? in the coming time. But for now, let us see what is a particular series, right? So three different kinds of series. I said that first is ascending, second is descending, third is inline, something like this. Or to get a proper picture of inline, this is something what is inline, right? This particular thing. Let me mark it for you. This particular thing is a form of inline CPRs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correct? And this particular thing too, correct? Now, these were some basics of series of CPR, right? Now we talked about first two primary CPRs, that is narrow and wide. Second, we talked about series of CPR. Third, what we are moving is derived CPRs, right? Or CPR relationships. That is 2 days CPR relationship. See, because technically, why I'm saying 2 days, because seeing a single CPR, you can predict or you can just have a probability of the trend of that particular day, right? But seeing the particular like trend be, you might have seen that trend might also be of 2 ways, right? What is the trend? You might see a narrow CPR and you might say that the that this is a trending day. But what kind of trending day it is? Is it bullish? Is it bearish? Right? That's a question mark. So how would you solve that using CPR? The simple thing here which comes into picture is clubbing topic 1 and topic 2, right? That is type of CPR and the series of CPR. That gives you the third topic, that is CPR relationship, right? And that will give you a particular, you can say, a overall idea in a nutshell, correct? So let's see with a recent example. Let me switch on the candles here. Correct. So see, just a minute. Firstly, let's see here what kind of CPR can you see here, right? Can you see here? So this particular thing, what I marked here is, it is one, right? Mark it. This is one, right?
Mukul bhai, we cannot see the clear line. Can you darken the something?
Okay, you want me to dark this thing?
Okay, yeah, because we cannot see on the our screen. Very light, very light.
Okay, just a minute. Let me keep the pivot black. Is it fine now? Can you see it now?
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the relationship of CPR. So here we go. Let's talk about the recent, or you can say the previous trading days idea, right? So now here you can see we have we had 14th October narrow CPR, right? So you might say that 14th October might have been a trending day, right? But what exactly, where you can predict that the trend might go? Would it go bullish or would it go bearish, right? So technically for that, we have to see the previous day CPR. Now the previous day CPR, right, is a form of overlapping CPR. Correct? Why overlapping? Now see, this particular CPR is wide. This particular CPR is just above, or you can say the bottom BC is just touching its TC, right? Or it is somewhere near to its TC. So ideally, this is something you can say as an overlapping CPR. So to keep it very simple, what I say is, if you draw a line or if you draw a rectangle, right? And simultaneously you draw one rectangle and then you draw the other rectangle, but that rectangle has the second rectangle has a confluence of first rectangle, that is something like this, what I'm talking about. See, this, right, plus this. If something is forming like this, correct? So imagine these two particular rectangles are a form of CPRs, right? This is one, this is first CPR, this is the second CPR, correct? Now, whenever this particular thing happens, we called it as a overlapping CPRs, right? This is overlapping CPRs. Now, if I slightly move this rectangle, right, towards like this, or you say like this, correct? Which you can see, you will spot it out on the chart. You can see this particular formation here. Have a look here. See, do you see this kind of formation here, right? What I have drawn here is similarly you can see here, right? So what is now this kind of formation? This kind of formation is called as a inside value CPR. Now, what is inside value CPR? Inside value CPR is nothing but whenever the current day CPR is within the range of the previous day CPR, correct? So what were like what will first overlapping CPR indicate you, right? Second, what will inside value CPR will indicate you, correct? So technically, what the first what this particular scenario that is the inside value CPR is telling you that uh, the previous day the current day range is within the previous day range of previous day CPR range, right? So technically you have heard a term called volatility squeeze, right? Or you can say momentum squeeze, or twice or etc., right? So similarly, we have a volatility or a range squeeze in CPR2, right? So whenever these kind of setups occur, generally it is uh, predicted that the price can blast off from here, right? How it would blast and at what level it could gain more momentum, that we will discuss after this particular topic, right? But for now, the basic is to just understand that what this kind of formation might tell you, or what kind of momentum can it take when these particular formation are uh, are being seen on the charts, right? So these are two types. Now the third type can be outside value, right? That is something like this, correct? This can be outside value. That is nothing but exactly vice versa of your in like the previous formation. Now this particular CPR is within the range of this CPR, correct? So technically, these all three things will technically tell you a particular inline, or they might give you the third series of CPR, that is inline CPRs, right? Whenever these kind of series occur, you might take a particular view that the market might be consolidating, right? Correct. And now let's talk about ascending CPR now. So whenever there is a formation like this, correct, you can see this particular formation here. uh, where is it? Yeah, here, right? Whenever you see these kind of formations, this is ascending CPR. And when you club the nature of CPR, that is let's see here now. Let's see it here. See, so now we had a narrow CPR, right? We had you can say a wide CPR here, right? So let's assume we are on 14th October. We are about to the market is about to start, right? So what all information have we gathered till now? Let's see. First, the CPR is narrow, so today the day might be trending, correct? Second, what should be the trend? So we will see the formation or the 2-day CPR relationship. That is, this particular these particular two CPRs are in a form of ascending series, right? Or you can say ascending pattern. So you might say the script is bullish, right? And it might be trending too on 14th of October, correct? Now, what else we can just see here is when we apply Camarilla to this particular thing, right? Which is, you can say, the main ingredient of the CPR setup, right? CPR is just a base, correct? It will give you an idea of what the price can do or how the market structure can be for that particular day, but at what levels, right? Now we have seen that the trend is bullish, sorry, the structure is trending, right? The trend is bullish, but what about that information, right? Like, you cannot just blindly say that this particular stock is moving up from here, or this is bullish, so you just go long, right? Or if I'm talking about 14th October, right, I might just say that HDFC Bank seems to be trending and it is in a form of bullish trend, so just go long. But you would ask me that from where exactly, you would ask me that what should be my entry, what should be my stop loss, what should be my exit, correct? So coming to these particular set of data points, we use Camarilla, right? Now, the book which I mentioned, SPB, that is Secrets of Pivot Boss, it generally has everything revolving around Camarilla points. But if you wish, you can switch this particular setup to Fibo pivots also, right? You can use different combinations, whichever suits you. You can use C, but in this all kind of combinations, right? Permutation combinations, you would have base as CPR, correct? So first combination can be CPR plus Camarilla points. Then second combination can be CPR plus floor pivots, right? Third can be CPR plus flow pivots, correct? So you can choose uh, any type of combination according to your convenience, right? What you find what you find out to be a perfect or a comfortable, you can say, setup for you, correct? So going by the book, we will just talk about Camarilla points here, right? But I will also show you how you can work upon Fibo pivots, right? And also floor pivots, correct? So let's switch on the candlesticks for now, and you might see some interesting formations here. Like I said, the trend today was
The
bullish,
screen,
right?
the hello. Sorry to disturb you. The video is not. The screen is not sharing. Just can you please reshare it again?
Okay, just a minute. The screen is gone now, or it was not visible from the time I was
Just no, no,
speaking?
no. Just gone now. 1 2 second, 2 3 minutes now. Just
Okay,
2 3 second before.
okay, just a minute. Okay, I guess the host the host status. Pashuramji, just make me the host again. I don't know how I lost it. Yeah, screen sharing in 3 2 1. Yeah, visible
Yeah.
now.
Yes, got it.
Okay, so now we talked about uh, the trend being bullish, right? The structure being trending, right? And the trend being bullish. Now you can see exactly what happened here, correct? Just a minute. What happened to my screen? Just a minute, guys. Okay. So we were talking about HDFC Bank.
चलो बेटा थेपलो खा लिए चलो इनकी बात आएगा मैं
Okay, just mute your mics. Okay, we are done. Right? So we were talking about this particular formations. Correct? So we were talking about this thing. So the day, year, right? The day, year is trending, right? And it is also bullish. Why? Because we had a ascending form of CPR. But seeing this, the day the script went trending, right? But exactly, you would ask me that how can we enter? Where can we place a stop loss, right? And where exactly can we put our targets? Correct. So let me first show you the basic indicators which are available in across trading view. Then I will show you our set of particular indicators which we have created by naming it as a label, right? And which is easy to like spot and use for intraday, right? So let us go by the basic first. So let me switch on the Camarilla here. Right, and let me switch off the... Okay. So now you can see Camarilla points here with labels too, right? So generally, what are Camarilla points? These are nothing but a set of pivot levels which are created using a particular set of formulas, right? So for the formulas, we are not going into formulas right now, right? You can find them in the book named as Secrets of Pivot Pause. You can find the entire formulation, the entire labeling of how it is done, why it is done, right? But what we are going to talk about is what is actually the function of every Camarilla point, right? What you what you see right now in the chart, right? And how you can interpret the same when you are in live markets, correct? So let's check it out here first. This was our CPR, right? This is H3. This is L3, correct? Now, firstly, when we talk about H3 and L3, remember one thing, that these particular levels are actually called the reversal Camarilla levels, right? So ideally, when I say reversal Camarilla levels, right, it simply means that from here, that is from H3 or L3, the price can continue the trend, right? Or the price might take a trend reversal from here, correct? So keep these two things in mind, correct? This would all be linked up at the end when we are about to like close up the entire topic into one nutshell, right? So remember these all terminology for at least some time being, and you would come out like you would see like how each and every data points which we are talking about right now correlates everything into one and gives you a particular setup to use, right? So H3 and L3 are generally called as reversal Camarilla levels. H4 and L4, right? H4 and L4 are generally the breakout level. That is, suppose let's say that H3, HDFC Bank took out H3, right? So what does that mean? That means that the trend has continued, right? The upward trend has continued. But see one thing, you might have also seen in price action that people call as it as a fake breakout, right? That is, you have a resistance level, right? Or you might have a support level, and the price might break that particular zone but reverse again immediately, right? So that is generally termed as a fake breakout, correct? Or a fake breakout on upside, on downside, right? But similarly, when we talk about this concept in the form of Camarilla, you cannot say that the trend here, which we talked about here, that is H3, even though the price has taken out H3, right? There might be chances that it could give you a fake up move, right? Or a fake indication of a trend continuation. And it might be also the case that the immediate next candle you would see as a big red candle engulfing all the stop loss, all the downside liquidity and moving down further, right? So how to confirm that that this particular trend is coming into a super bullish momentum, right? So technically, we also have that particular thing in the Camarilla setup that is generally indicated by your H4 and L4 levels, right? So these particular levels are known as breakout or breakdown levels, correct? So now, till now, what do we have? Till now, we have the CPR is narrow, so it is a trending day. This the 2 day CPR relationship is ascending, so it is technically a bullish trending day, right? Third, it took out H3, right? So it is generally in a trend continuation, correct? Fourth, it took out H4 too, right? It took out H4 too. So technically now we are in a super bull momentum, right? For that particular day. Now we have a breakout. Sorry, we have a trend continuation. We have a breakout. Now where should be our stop loss and where should be the target, right? So H5 and H6, right? And vice versa, L5 and L6 are generally the target booking levels, right? So for year, if you see the course of price here, the candle open, okay, the candle open here, or opened above the CPR, took out H3, again came back for a support here at H3, moved further, has taken out H4, moved further, H4, right? Moved further, has given you a target, first target, second target. And now being in a super bullish momentum, it went up, 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 up. Correct? See, technically, anything which is crossing H6 is generally considered to be a very, very bullish indication, because generally, let me talk about one thing, that is what do you commonly call as volatility, right? Or you might say uh, a particular average day range, right? आपने ये तो you might have heard that these particular days have a specific, like a particular stock has a particular beta, right? A particular stock has a particular beta value. So according to that beta value, you get a defined range of standard deviations, right? So what by that what I mean is, you have a specific, or you have a pre-described range of that particular script, according to which you can say that yes, if this range, if the price takes out this range, it is moving to the higher band of standard deviation, correct? And technically you might just see that in the form of increasing VIX, right? Or increasing beta, correct? That is all fundamental expect. But when we are talking about the Camarilla setup, anything going above H6 is considered to be super bullish, and you can even trail that with a concept called as a PEMA concept, right? We would come to PEMA in a few minutes, but let us talk about firstly, what above H6, right? You might ask now that we have seen each and every level, but uh, the stock going above H6? So simply, if the stock is taking out, or if the script is taking out H6, simply your ultimate target can be UC, right? Or unless and until it breaks that particular, or breaks that particular bullish momentum, or it shows you any signs of reversal, correct? So ideally that can be your particular thing. I guess I lost my screen again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Correct. So now we had talked about your entry point. Correct. So what are the possible entries? What are the possible targets? What are the possible stop loss? So the ideal form of entry here is, generally, if you are a risk taker, you might enter at H3, right? If you are a conservative trader, you would wait for a breakout level, correct? That is nothing but this H4 level, right? This H4 level. And simultaneously, if there is a downtrend, then it is the L4 level, right? Here, correct? Now, what should be your target? Your target should be first H5, second second target should be H6, correct? And the main point is, where should be your stop loss? So ideally, placing your stop loss is like something which you can say that it should go within the situation, or it should blend within the current situation of the market, right? So technically, if the price is opening above the CPR, correct, then generally tend to place you should place your stop loss below the CPR by some buffer range, right? Mm, So technically, if I speak about placing a stop loss below the CPR, I'm generally speaking about placing a stop loss below the bottom central with a buffer like 0.5, 0.25%, right? So ideally, if at all there is a stop loss hunting at the pivot level of the CPR, so you at least can have some buffer point to like escape that particular stop loss hunting, right? So this is one kind of placing stop loss. Second can be if the price is moving, or sorry, if the price has gapped down and open below CPR, so the stop placing a stop loss is exactly vice versa. You would place your stop loss slightly above the CPR, that is the top central level, right? And third is what you should do when the price is opening within the CPR, right? So technically, you can see now you are open to various kind of stop losses. That is, first, place your stop loss to whichever data point is the nearest, right? It might be PEMA, it might be your previous day low, right? It might be your CPR, it might be your L3 level, right? Anything is possible. So whichever is the nearest, you should place your stop loss there whenever the price is opening within the CPR. But to solve that problem also, we have something which we'll see later, right? But for now, this is what you should do, and you should consider as a particular setup, or an ideal setup, if you are a beginner, right? But we will also see how you can like refine this particular kind of setups and use for your convenience, correct? So up till now, let me give you a minute to see everything on the chart, right? Or let me give you 30 seconds to take in everything, right? And up till now, if you have any doubts, right, just ask me after this 30 seconds. So after this 30 seconds, I will just take up some few questions, right? So that if there is anything left out, or if there is anything uh, which is coming to your mind, so we can clear it here and now, and then we'll further see how you can refine this particular setup, right? So let's pause for around 30 seconds and you can just see what all you can see on the chart.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Okay. So do you want to ask any questions or should I move further?
Yeah.
Because
Hello,
from
sir.
yeah.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Evening.
Thank you for explaining. But sir, actually, I missed the initial starting point of the explanation, sir. If you don't mind, can you brief it? Just brief it, sir. I mean to say, just I learned. I was joined after
No
some
issues.
time.
Okay, no issues.
Just a
As
brief
it
is
is
enough, sir. Actually, that I can
okay,
understand.
as it is, yeah, as it is, the recording would be uploaded, so you can just refer to the recording, right? For
Okay,
once,
I
but
will. But sir, for I mean to
okay,
say,
let me give you a quick brief.
yeah,
Let
yeah.
me give you a
Please,
quick
please.
brief.
Thank
Okay,
you so much.
yeah, for everyone who has joined late, just listen to it now very carefully. Just a quick brief. So what we discussed is the types of CPR, right? Second, the formation or the series of CPR, correct? Third is 2 days CPR relationships. So technically there are two types of CPR, right? That is trending and wide CPR. Narrow and wide CPR. This is something what we called as a narrow CPR when the range of TC and BC is very, very less. And when the range of TC and BC is wide, then it gives you a wide CPR, correct? Narrow CPR is generally trending CPR. Wide CPR is generally your consolidating CPR, right? Now simply if the current day CPR is higher than the previous day CPR, you called it as a ascending CPR, vice versa for descending CPR, right? If the current day CPR is lower than the previous day CPR, then it is a lower value CPR, correct? And third is inline CPR. That is if you are having an overlapping inside or outside value, right? Then you call it as an inline CPR. That is something like this. Look, like this. Okay. So this was types of base CPR, series of CPR, 2 days relationship, right? So 2 days relationship is nothing. If the CPR is ascending, it is bullish. If the CPR is descending, it is bearish. And if the CPR is inline, then it is generally consolidating. Correct. And from here on, we discussed about various types of entries, right? And specifically, now we talked about the base, which is CPR, but for entry, exit, and stop loss, you use different sets of combination with this base, and that combination is generally termed as Camarilla points. Now there are three sets or three probabilities of formations or combinations. That is CPR plus Camarilla points, CPR plus Fibbo pivots, and third is CPR plus floor pivots. Correct. H3, L3 are reversal levels. H4, L4 are breakout level. H5, H6, L5, L6 are target levels. Correct. So up till now we have discussed this, and from here on we would see some more refined concepts, right? And what do you say? Something like which is apart from book, right? So I guess this should be enough for the first part. Now let's move to the second part, right? And from here on, please be very careful and attentive, because this should be like good for every one of you, correct? So technically, what I spoke up till now, correct, was something in a form of what you would find in some journal indicators or some journal form of trading view data, right? So to just simplify this thing, correct, we have put it in a form of labels that will give you a certain edge or over the psychology of your mind during live market, right? Now specifically when you see this these types of charts, right, you will see different colors, you will see different kinds of levels, right? But what if I just make it simple for you, correct? Just let me disable this thing. Okay, so see, have a look here, correct? So this is something what do you see here is now very, very simple, right? What all I talked about till now is generally labeled here, right? Let me switch off the PEMA. I will talk about PEMA because it is very, very interesting and you can say very, very like engaging topic, right? So we will move to PEMA after this, but generally just see here what I'm trying to convey here is, see, this was a narrow CPR, correct? This is a reversal, that is H3 and L3, correct? Breakout is H4, L4, and these targets are nothing but H5, H6, H5, L5, L6, correct? So technically, if simply tomorrow I give you the chart and I say that this particular thing has a trend, has a bullish trend, and simultaneously the structure is trending, right?
Mukul bhai, chart is gone. No screen.
I think he disconnected Parshuram.
No screen, sir. No voice, no screen.
Hello, hello.
Mukul bhai, there is no screen. For last 2
Just a
minutes.
minute. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, visible. Hello. Is it visible now?
Yes, Mukul bhai, it is
Yes,
visible.
brother. Yes,
Yes,
brother.
it's visible now.
Okay. 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 So, okay. So let's talk this kind of entry exit at a later part. Let's quickly discuss first about PEMA because time is running out, right? Let me discuss about PEMA first. So see, this is generally PEMA, right? See, PEMA is nothing but your pivot pivot exponential moving average, right? It is nothing but you can say moving averages, that is exponential moving averages based on pivot calculations, right? So there are generally three sets of PEMA. First is high intensity, medium intensity, and low intensity. Correct? These are three types of PEMA. Now, what we are using here is the high intensity PEMA, that is 8, 13, 21, right? Now, high intensity PEMA is 8, 13, 21. That is moving average 8 with period 8, moving average with the period 13 and 21, right? This is high intensity. Second is moderate, that is 13, 34, 55, right? Sorry, 13, 21, 34, right? And the high is 13, 34, 55, correct? So we will only talk about the high intensity PEMA because this is the closest to the price, right? And for the rest too, you can just refer to the book once so that you get an idea, right? I will talk about it also, but for time being, I will just talk about high intensity because it is the closest to the price, correct? So now, when I talk about PEMA, there is there is a upper band, lower band, and a middle band, right? So technically, what is the middle band trying to tell you? The middle band is actually trying to tell you a pullback is happening, right? You must have heard that whenever there is an uptrend, you might see there is uptrend, then the price comes to form a dip or a base, and then if there has to be a trend continuation, it forms a green long candle again, right? So this is how the price moves in a particular trend. So simultaneously, to when we talk about this thing in pivot terms, we use a particular you can say a particular thing or a particular combination of moving averages to form a particular base where you can check for any pullbacks or a dip being made, right? Now, firstly, PEMA can tell you if there is a trend continuation happening and if there is a pullback on the similar trend continuation, right? Second, what it can tell you that if the middle band is taken out, so middle band, that is 13 EMA in the high intensity, 8, 13, 21. The 13 EMA is actually the pullback line for that entire day, right? So technically, when I say the 13 EMA is a pullback MA, what does it means? That whenever the price is in an uptrend, right, and it has to give a dip, so the dip should be at least till 13 EMA or above the 13 EMA, right? If at all the price is moving down or moving below 13 EMA, generally it is considered that the trend reversal can be on a probability of 40-50%, right? But it is not confirmed yet, correct? How you can confirm the same thing? When the price is further going down below the lower band, that is the 21 MA, right? I'm speaking this for entirely intraday. I'm not speaking about positional or swing. That has a different kind of setup, but I am just talking about intraday, correct? That is the lower band, which is 21. So if the price is going below 21, right, and it is closing, that remember this thing, price is going down and closing below are two different things, right? If the price is going down, it might come up and form a hammer like thing, so that would be a scenario of like a stop loss hunting, and it might go up again, right? But definitely you should take every entry exit stop loss based on candle close rather than breakout or breakdowns, right? So technically, whenever the price is moving down from the lower band, when the price is an uptrend, right, it is generally considered as a trend reversal. Or if the price is bouncing from the 13 EMA, it is considered as a as a dip, right? And there you can buy on dips, correct? So let's see with HDFC here. Let me apply daily CPR. Delhi Camarilla, right? So here you can see we had trend continuation confirmation by when the level took out H3, right? When the script took out H3, we had a confirmation here that the trend is continuing. So we are in a bullish trend, correct? H4 H4 break of H4 is generally breakout. So now I can say that from here on, whenever the price is taking out H4, right, I can say that seeing the base structure of the script, I can say that uh, for for time being, unless and until H3 is taken out, the stock is buy on dips. Correct. The stock for that particular entire day is buy on dips. Correct. Now you would ask me that you said that the stock is buy on dips, but how can we buy the dip or how can we spot that particular dip? Correct. So generally to spot the dip, I said as I said, you have to just keep a watch on the PEMA. Correct. Whenever the price is touching the PEMA, or if it is bouncing back from the middle band of PEMA, it is generally considered as a dip in that particular trend. Correct. So see how many dips we got here, or what were the various stages where you could have entered, right? So H3 would be your first entry. Correct. H4 should be your second entry. Let me mark this. Correct. So technically, H3 is your first entry, right? H4 is your second entry, correct? Now, this particular thing, what you see here is a dip, right? Price took out H4, it breaked out, it went to achieve your first target. And from here, you can see a doji and a reversal, correct? But does it indicates that now the script will fall, right? Up till here, is there any indication that you can see of this the stock becoming weak, right? So here we have a red engulfing candle, right? And now the price is going down. But the now you see how simple is the concept for pivot boss, which he has formulated by giving us PEMA, right? And PEMA is doing nothing but giving you actually a chance. If suppose you had missed your entry at H3 and even H4, right? Still you have a chance. If the price retraces back from PEMA, you can consider as it as a dip in the bullish trend, and you can enter it on the dip, right? So for like I said, for riskers, it would be around 13 EMA or lower band, whichever you feel can give you a good return on capital deployed, right? Second can be when the price takes a dip on PEMA and closes above the PEMA. So technically your conservative entry would be here, right? That is somewhere near to roughly near to 1654, 1655, right? So here you can go on riding the trend until the second target, right? Those who had entered at H3 and H4, they are done with their partial booking at H5, and now we'll wait for H6, right? This I'm talking about conservative. But those who are a risk taker, right, they would all the way down trail till the stock becomes weak or till the stock gives you a reversal entry. Reversal indication, right? So now you can see the entire day stock tried to move up, gave a dip, tried to move up, gave a dip, tried to move up, gave a dip, tried to move up, closed above, right? So how many dips are here? For 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, right? So technically, when I say this particular script gave you, even if you missed out on the starting of the day and anywhere you, for suppose you had office, you had some college lectures or something like that, and you ended up turning on your screen at 12:30 p.m. 12:30 p.m. 1 p.m. right on the second half in the second half of the market, Then 2, you might have got at least 2 entries, right? That is one at 1 o'clock, right? You might have taken it here. Or second, you might have taken it at the end of the day and still it was C. It gave you around 0.3, 0.4%, right? Or if you consider it as in terms of points, it gave you 5 points, right? If you are futures traders, then 5 points can give you a good amount of profit, correct? So this is a simple setup which you can use when you are like using pivot as your core setup, right? So up till now, whatever I said was entirely formulated and entirely like taken up from the book, right? But from now on, what I will what you ask me as your questions or what you tell me to analyze would be particularly according to our customized way, right? Or by customized I mean like our experienced way, right? Because we have been practicing this particular setup for like 6+ months or 8+ months, right? So we can certainly now define our points apart from the books so that we get some good accuracy, right, and good points to generate some more returns on our capital deployed in that particular trade, correct? So let's see how we can analyze. Just try to give me let's take up any 3 random stocks and we will analyze how can we take up entries, exit and stop loss.
Excuse me. Screen not visible, sir.
Again, how it is not visible? It is visible, I guess. It's visible.
Yes, it's visible, sir.
Yes, it is visible. Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. Okay. So quickly give me random 3 stocks. Let's take up first stock now.
Granules.
Give me a name.
Reliance.
Granules.
Reliance.
Okay. Granules, Reliance. Let me take up this.
IGL.
IGL. Okay. 3 done. Granules, Reliance, IGL. Let's see the first stock, Granule. Okay. For time being, let me turn off this as well as the labels. Okay. As well as the PEMA. So we will take up slightly more time than the next 2 scripts so that we save time on the next 2 scripts, right? So particularly we would go slow in this particular analysis and then we will fast forward it in the next 2 scripts, correct? So technically, what do you see here? Up till now, what we had discussed is, see, this is a form of ascending wide CPR, correct? So technically, the probability according to the book is it should be what do you say? It should be consolidating, right? Or the range should not go beyond its certain beta for that day, right? Or if you are using or trading based on FNO, there is something called as delta, right? Delta range, correct? So if it is going above delta, the price can be trending or the momentum can be bullish, correct? So here, let's see, wide CPR, ascending CPR, correct? What else do you see? What else can you spot? Here, if you see the previous day H3, correct? Previous day H3, and let me put a cursor. See, previous day H3, that is here, and today's H3 is something making as they are making a confluence here, correct? So let me introduce a slight new term in between this conversation, that is hot zones, right? What are hot zones? Hot zones are nothing. If I define it to you in simple language, it is nothing but whenever two concepts of you can say two concepts related to pivot boss or two levels related to the concepts of pivot boss are coinciding or overlapping. That is nothing but a hot zone, correct? And what is the purpose of hot zone? it is nothing but it tells you that that particular level is now strong, or what I can say is like that particular level is more strong than the other levels or other zones which might have been marked, or you might have analyzed, or you might have like seen somewhere, right? Technically, this particular thing shows you that this particular level now, that is 330 332, is somewhere like a hot zone. So above this the momentum should be more bullish, and below this there can be some good dip or even stop loss hunting in the market, correct? Or even there can be a trend reversal, because as we know that H3 is a level of reversal, right? This can give you trend continuation, this can give you trend reversal. So let's check the candlestick here. What's happening here? Look. Do you guys see something? What happened here? So, look. Let me enable the name label. Correct? You see 9:15, 14th October, price opened within the CPR, right? Got down, took liquidity from a demand zone, correct? You can see drop, base, rally, right? So took something from demand zone, went up, but now you see the beauty of pivots here, right? H3 was somewhere here, correct? Close to the CPR. So this is actually very, very strong level. If you see, it is even close to CPR. That is what I said. Whichever point is nearest to the CPR, right? That gets stronger in that manner. So this is more strong than H4. H4 is more strong than H5, right? Like this. So if you see, price tried to move up, but you see the close. What happened? It gave a close. See here. It gave a close below the H3 level, correct? Now again, the third candle, what happened here is price gapped up, came down till pivot, again it closed up. Now this time this closed above the H3 level, right? Technically, if if you see the previous day, technically you might say that this now can be a trend continuation, right? Or you might say if we were at 920, right? Or if we were at 925 in the live market, we might just assume that this can be a cup shaped pattern in formation, right? And the price would move up from here. But when we are seeing pivots, you know that unless and until this gives you a closing above this level, right? This cannot be considered as a trend continuation. So here you saw this gave you an indication of trend continuation, right? But now comes into the picture one more term that is named as initial balance, right? So what is initial balance? Initial balance is nothing but the first hour range of the market, or you can say the first 1 hour range, that is 9:15 to 10:15 timing of the market. Whatever the price is at, you can say the range of 9:15 to 10:15, that is the high of 9:15 till the low of 10:15 is your range, or you can say that is initial balance, right? So initial balance is generally used everywhere and in every concept, that is even in price action, market profile, what do you say, demand and supply, some of them use it, then range breakout strategies, right? So we also use this in pivots too, to certainly get an idea of how you can just see the markets, right? So this was just a additional note. We have nothing nothing to do with IB here, right? So technically, you see, up till now, you can say the high of the IB is here, right? So even if you say that this closed above H3, you would certainly have waited for your entry as a conservative trader at H4. Why? Because you know that this particular wick has gone on to discover price at 333.40, right? But initially it was not able to find some buyers at this price level too. So initially it, you can see more sellers came in here, right, with a specific amount of volume too. See the volume also, right? So technically someone has pressed the price here and is not wanting the price to go up or take out the breakout level, right? The breakout level is somewhere at 333.60, or let's keep it round to 3334, right? So it is not able to break that. And you see what happened on the next candle, engulfed, right? And now you see a particular rejection. And then initially you see this three particular candles, which are generally smaller in bodies compared to this, right? It took out the pivot also. And now the range is going down, down, down. Correct? See. So technically, what happened during the day is it's a trend reversal. Correct? If you see in terms of 2 days, down, up, down, pull back, down, 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 right? But when we are talking about 2 days, slightly, why I said trend reversal, this is particularly trend continuation, but trend reversal is from here, right? From this particular. As I said, we are taking into consideration the CPR relationship. So we ideally reversed from here, but we continued the trend here, right? Now, how to spot trend reversal? Just seeing the CPRs, right? That is also a part of today's discussion, but that we will discuss in next few minutes, right? But just for now, just see how you can just play with the levels of pivots, right? So technically, what do you observe here is from here we have gone weak, right? We took out L3 also, but now just see here what's happening here.
नीचे उतरू दे स्वयं बोले चल ब्लॉक
Just
पर गेम रमसु
mute your mics.
ठीक है पापा आजी आओ तो बाहर लाग
Okay, so you see something here, right? Now those who are following price action, demand and supply, right? This journal, according to demand and supply, right? This is a demand zone, right? And according to price action traders, this is a form of support, right? But if you have heard a term called as BOS, that is break of structure, this was done here, but this was something as a stop loss hunting, right? The price has gone down to hunt stop loss on the downside, correct? But you know that this particular CPR now will act as a resistance because it has been broken, correct? If you follow the basics of CPR, this will now see price action. Even in price action, you have whenever support is taken out, that becomes resistance, right? The same way is with CPR. If the CPR is taken out, then it will act as a resistance. If up till here when it was taken out on the upside, now this would act as a support, and it did for the first three candles. It tried to support, but sellers were so dominant that they had taken out CPR on the downside again, right? But this time with the candle close, and now you see a resistance and again down, correct? But now let's see how can PEMA work here. Let's see if PEMA is giving you something. So see, here you can see we closed up moved up. This was the first pullback here, but here you see it moved down across. Please mute your mics, right? Let's check upon 15 minutes. Look. Now, if you see this chart on 15 minutes, it would be more clear, right? And I forgot to tell about this thing, but whenever you are doing intraday, ideal time frame should be 15 minutes. For entry exit, you should use 5 minutes or 3 minutes, right? If you want the same chart to be continued, I would just continue this on 5 minutes, right? And from here on, we would see 15 minutes, an entry on 5 minutes, 3 minutes. So you see here, it was taken out. Again, trend reversal. Again, it failed. See, this is why I said that up till from the past 1 hour, what we talked about is definitely according to the book. But what we will see is something which is not given in the book. And you can just take this all from your experience, or you can say from various teachings what you got in the live market, right? So this is if you see this logically, if I say that this PEMA was taken out, right, and you should go long here, would you go long here? Simple answer would be no. Why? Because you have an immediate resistance of CPR, right? For you to take a long position, you know that at least this pivot should go, or this pivot level is important to break and sustain for the upside to continue, correct? And you saw what is happening here. It was not even able to touch the pivot, right? And it again reversed. So technically you could see that this whole day, matlab, around, you can see that up till first 2 hours, it was entirely stop loss hunting on both the sides. Hunted on the upside, hunted on the downside, again hunted for stop loss or existing, you can say just a flush of weak hands, right? This those who had shorted here based on this particular levels or low of this, anything it might be, their stop loss also got hit, and again you can see additional liquidity, right? Now again same thing is happening here. If you see price action, according to price action, this is your support, right? Support. It is not able to cross PEMA. Pull back 1, 2, 3. 3 chances near to a reversal level, and it is not able to cross. What does that indicate? It is indicating that the trend is getting stronger towards the downtrend, right? And finally, it gave a move, and it had taken out the initial day low also, right? You see here. And finally, this support level, which was days low, it was taken out. And you can see it can also move down till L5 or L6, right? But market got closed. So this is how you can take entries based on simple bookish levels, right? Let's see 2 more stocks quickly. Reliance and then IGI. Now I will go somewhat quick, right? Because we cannot take more time here. So see, 2-day relationship ascending, narrow. So this was meant to be a trending day, right? Also, it was meant to be a bullish trending day, correct? But what happened? See here. Same thing is happening here. It opened up, right? Next candle, it is coming down for a support, right? Some might have entered here for long, but technically, if you see, if you are a logical person, then technically you would not go long, even if there was a dip here, simply because there is previous day high as your immediate resistance, right? You would only go long once H4 was taken out. Why? Because see, you can go long on H4 because you have some space for the price to breathe and achieve a good amount of return on your capital, what you have deployed, because H5 and H6 are at a certain gap, right? And you have you can say some area of breathing for the price to give you some good amount of returns, right? But if you simultaneously if you see here, right, year, or if you say H3 H4, then typically price is not getting area to get some liquidity or to breathe, right? But here it has enough area to get liquidity and breathe too. So might as well, if it has gone up, then H4 might have been taken out, consolidation up, consolidation up, right? But that was not our scenario. Our scenario was here. H3 was not able to break, again CPR, again H3, again CPR, H3 CPR. So entirely the if you see that this particular thing closed down in a particular range, right? Correct. But it was meant to be trending. I will talk about this thing also, that whenever there is a trending thing and if the price is not moving, then technically we consider it as a nested narrow CPR, right? What is nested? Simply it is like if the next day CPR, that is tomorrow's or developing CPR, let's check it out too. What is the tomorrow's CPR or CPR for Monday? Correct. Let me close down just to look exactly what I told. Nested CPR, right? You see a hot zone. See, this is a very, very, very strong level now. So keep Reliance. If you want to trade Reliance on Monday, keep this thing in mind. If this level is taken out, right? That is somewhere around let's keep a round number of 2710. If 2710 is taken out on Monday and if it sustains, right, Reliance can give a blasting move on upside, right? It can give you 2.5% move like easily if it goes above H3, and simultaneously the case is with L3, right? But if you see here, you see something here, drop, base, rally. So this particular thing is a fresh demand zone, right? But it will depend upon how the market opens, right? This is a form of nested or inline CPR, right? But this is in line with the narrow CPR. So day might be consolidating, right? It might consolidate if it opens somewhere in between H3 L3, then it will consolidate between H3 L3. But once if it takes out H3 or L3, it will go super trending, right? It might even go till L4, L5, L6, right? So the probability for Reliance going into trend is higher. Why? Because it has not performed on the previous trading day, despite the CPR being narrow. So this will typically indicate that there in this particular script on that particular day, that is Thursday, something, or you can say something has happened in that particular script, right? It can be either a form of accumulation or distribution based on a very, very short term, right? For at least you can say a day or two, or even a week, you can say. Correct. So you can check it here. If Reliance reverses, see, you can get a clear picture now. If I switch on to 15 minutes, you can see some clear picture. Reliance is consolidating from around, you can say 13th, 14th, 2 days. Correct. 2 days it has been consolidating within a range. So it has got a good probability. Correct. So technically, if you see, oh, sorry, I was on 5 minutes. So it is a nested, it is not a nested CPR, but a narrow CPR, right? Sorry for that. The nested level is H3 level, correct? Because technically this developing CPR is fixed to 15 minutes. Okay, so there is a perfect depiction of developing CPR on 15 minutes rather than any other time frame. Sorry for that, but it's okay. So you see, it's a narrow CPR, ascending CPR. So for Monday, what we can take is we have some important data points for Reliance. It is a trending day. It is meant to be a trending day, correct? It also has a narrow CPR and an ascending form of CPR. So bullish trending day, right? But you have a nested level. See, 1, H5, H3, H3, right? So technically, 2711 to 2709 is somewhere between this 2 to 3 points. If you see any time price is taking out this particular thing or this particular level on Monday and is able to sustain, right? Definitely there is going to be a trend continuation on the upside, right? And Reliance can go up till 2730 and up, and then to H62, right? So easily it can give you around 1 to 2%, correct? And simultaneously the cases with downtrend. If there is a break of L3, then okay, now exactly what I was looking for, it has come now. So let me take a pause from the entry exit part and just introduce you to the concept of virgin CPR, right? Virgin CPR is nothing but, see, this is a virgin CPR. Why it is a virgin CPR? Because the price has not touched, right? The momentum was so strong that the price was not able to retrace or take support or take resistance or consolidate in between the CPR or above or below the CPR, right? It directly gapped up, took a pullback and went up, right? So this indicates that the trend was very strong on that day, correct? The bullish trend might be for short term or long term, that would know at the end of the market, but till this point we knew that the trend is getting stronger or the momentum is getting stronger, right? So now if I plot this particular thing, just a minute. I'm plotting this roughly, right? So you have a support of around 260 to 65, right? You have a support level, a good support level of virgin CPR. So if at all L3 breaks, right, you can breaks and sustains a candle close and then a pull. If there is any kind of pullback till here or till somewhere here, right, and it goes down again and takes out even the current day low on Monday, then obviously and for sure you can aim for ultimate target of this particular point. Why? Because virgin CPR technically, what we have seen is through our trading is virgin CPR tend to be like a magnet, right? If the price is going far away from it, it will try to attract the price back towards it for a fill of that virgin CPR, and from there you can just go on fulfilling your trend on either side, right? That is continuation or reversal. So basically, if you follow price action or demand and supply, you would have seen a concept called order blocks, right? Where people come in to find liquidity or whales come in to find the liquidity. So same way, you can say this as a pivot order block, right? And this being a pivot, so technically you have a good support point till 2660 for Monday, right? If at all Reliance gaps down or some news comes in, this should be the first point to watch out, that if it is going lower, then this would go very, very weak, right? And it might give you the first target here, and then according to whatever you follow, right? Because you see how much downside is available for Reliance, correct? But if it wants to go out further, then definitely it has to take 2710 or 11 on Monday and sustain for a good move on the upside, right? So as you can see, this is whole a consolidating range for Reliance. Any side move can give you a good return on your capital deployed, right? But technically, until and unless the price takes out H3 or L3, it can also be that again Reliance can consolidate entirely on Monday too, right? It is possible, and you can see that then we will have to look out for what is the formulation of CPR on Tuesday, right? But for Monday, these are the possible scenarios. Until and unless H3 and L3 are taken out, you cannot say that Reliance has gone trending, right? And till the time it stays in between H3 and L3, you might just wait for a perfect entry, right? Because this should be a no trade zone, because maximum activity is happening between these particular zones. If you see previous day also, right? So there might be some accumulators or distributors here that we will come to know on Monday. If there is H3 break of H3, then definitely there was some short-term accumulation on Thursday, right? And if we break L3 and sustain, then definitely there was distribution, short-term distribution on Thursday, right? So this is the view for Reliance. See, this is just the intraday view, but for swing and positional, we entirely check a wider concepts, or you can say wider data points. That also we will discuss in few minutes, correct? Now, next stop was IGL. IGL, I'll remember because this is something making a double bottom on daily time frame too, and you can see here also, right? Some sort of double bottom pattern. So let's quickly check. Okay, so technically we are here with the new concept, and the most accurate, I'm repeating it again, the most accurate setup of the entire pivot boss concepts is called as golden pivot zone, or you can say aka GPZ, right? Golden pivot zone. Why it is golden, we will see it now, right? And how it works, we will see that now too. But let me tell you, whenever I talk about golden pivot zone, it is estimated to be as accurate as in terms of percentage. If I say you, it is like accurate mostly 95 to 98%, right? The highest form of accuracy in the entire pivot boss setup available to you, right? So if at all you are new to markets, or if at all you are new to pivot boss, or if at all you are not getting time for day trading, if you are going to job, you are a college student, you are a professor, you are working in a bank, you are a doctor, right? Whatever might be a profession, but the thing here is you are not able to give time to the market during intraday, but some of the other time slot, like in between, you are switching up to your terminal and checking out if I get some entry or not. So technically this is the best setup you can use on the go, right? Even you can just even if you're traveling somewhere, like you're traveling from let's say from one state to another, and you feel like, let me check for any trade opportunity in between, right? If I'm getting some trade opportunity, and if your GPZ is getting triggered, then technically you can take a trade on the go as well, right? Because these kind of setups like have the highest accuracy, and they can give you target if the setup is being followed, uh, and if the flows, or you can say the particular sector in which the script is falling, right, if it is also supporting that day, then definitely it can even advance to like UC2, right? There are higher chances of hitting UC2. I will show you that too on a perfect scanner thing, right? Uh, how you can get live alerts, how you can get a particular scanner, right? That is an open source scanner. You can modify according to your needs, or if you want to go by that standard particular thing, you can even spot it out during the market, after the market, right? And even at the EOD part, if you have the habit of doing EOD analysis, even then you can spot out which particular stocks have bullish or bearish GPZ for the next day, right? So everything is available for free on Telegram. You can just have a look and check in for that. So coming back to GPZ is formed whenever there is any pivot or Camarilla level in confluence or within the CPR range, right? So technically, when we say this, generally there can be two possibilities, because the range cannot go this much wide, right? H4 and H4 and L4, the breakout levels cannot certainly come within the CPR, because for that there has to be like like a big breaking news, right? Like a war or something like that. In that case, these pivot level like H4 and above and L4 and above, right? L4 and below, these particular levels will come getting attracted towards your CPR or within the CPR. So for this particular thing, as a standard volatility, we would consider whenever H3 or L3, that is the reversal Camarilla levels, are within the CPR or inside the CPR, that is particularly when you form a particular golden pivot zone, right? So let's check it out here. What is this form of GPZ and what it tends to tell you? So technically, whenever H3 is within the CPR, it is a bearish GPZ, right? Whenever L3 is within the CPR, it is generally bullish GPZ, correct? So generally, if there is a bullish GPZ, it tells you that if the GPZ is triggered, if the GPZ on that particular day is triggered, then price can give you good upside momentum, and that has you can say slight more possibility than the regular setups of CPR we were seeing up till now, right? So here you can see we have a bearish GPZ. Also, it is coming in confluence with your 2-day CPR relationship, descending CPR, right? Plus a white CPR, correct? This I'm talking about Monday. I'm not talking about after the market, right? I'm talking about what can happen on Monday, right? So that you can get a good idea, and if at all you have to trade, you can take a trade too, correct? So tomorrow, if GPZ has to trigger, firstly, there are certainly three conditions, right? First, the price, or you can say three steps. So the first step is price. If it is bullish GPZ, then price should open above the CPR, correct? And vice versa for bearish, price should open below the CPR for bearish. Second, the price should retrace after opening above or below. The price should come back to the CPR, right? And it coming back to the CPR, it can come down till your if it's a bullish GPZ, then it can come down to your TC, even a pivot, or L3 or BC, right? But until and unless BC is broken, you would not say that the particular GPZ is invalid, right? Because till BC is protected, that that particular bullish GPZ tends to remain intact, and the trigger is actually pending, correct? So here we are discussing about bearish GPZ. So technically, on Monday, if the price open gives a gap down opening, right, and for tends to retrace towards the CPR, but if it is not able to cross your what do you say, TC, BC, or even the pivot and H3 level. Suppose if your price is reversing from year or year or year, right? And again, if it is reversing from year, then break should be year, confirmation should be year. If it is gap down, coming till year, breaking it here, again a confirmation, gap down, pull back till here, and then again breaking the day low, that is the current day low, right? Then also it is a confirmation. If such setup is forming up, you can easily short at around this or this, keeping a stop loss of somewhere, keeping a buffer of above BC. So you can keep a stop loss of 515, right? And short anywhere below it until between 510 to 514, right? With a stop loss of 515 or even your H4 breakout level, right? 515, 516. So with the stop loss of that, you can short it here and keep a target of L3, L4, L5, whatever is nearest, and going on trailing with that particular thing, right? Now, why I'm saying this, because this is also coming into confluence with your please mute your mics, with your trend continuation, correct? So this can be a deciding factor for your trend reversal or your trend continuation. But if, until and unless, let me put it in a simple term for you, unless and until BC is taken out on Monday, that is 514.5 is taken out on Monday and sustained, you would not consider it as a trend reversal, right? It might be that it can form a U-shaped pattern, right? It can give you a U-shaped recovery. But for that also, firstly, your pivot should be taken out. Secondly, your BC should be taken out. But the ultimate barrier is your BC, right? If BC is not taken out, and then you see logically we have nearest or H4 nearest, that is the breakout level nearest to your CPR. So for conservative traders, let's keep 515 as your breakout level, right? So unless and until 515 is taken out for conservative, you should not go long in this IGL script, right? For riskers, you can just wait for pivot to break, that is around 512, 511. If that is gone, you can place a small stop loss here and wait for BC and H4 to go out also. That is only for riskers entry, those who are riskers, right? But generally, you should always trade on confirmations and be a conservative trader, right? So that is the case here. So up unless 515, 514 is taken out on Monday, IGL would remain sell on rise, correct? And it would go down and down and down. And you know that if at all, like somewhere, if you see here, roughly, if you see this thing, right? This is also your trend line support, correct? I just drew it roughly, so you can just connect the points on your chart correctly, right? I just drew it roughly to just give you an idea, right? So if at all, it can just reverse from year 2, right? But for that, you have to wait for BC. If it does not retrace back, then definitely it is going down, correct? This is ideally what you can spot through your basic concepts of pivots, correct? So we talked about granules, reliance, and IGA, according to the concepts of books, according to the concepts of CPR, correct? Now, coming to some main topics quickly, we will finish this particular thing in 10-15 minutes, right? And then we can proceed for Q&A.
Hi, can I interrupt you for a question on the GP, sir?
No, bro. You can just keep it up for like 10-15 minutes more, right? Because
Okay, right.
Yeah, time is running out. So 10-15 minutes, just wait for 10-15 minutes, and then we will straight away head to the Q&A.
Fine.
Correct? Yeah. So yeah, what I was speaking about. Quickly, I will show you now how you can use CPRs alone. Just you can, if there is nothing on the chart, and if anyone has to give you just a set of CPRs, right? how you can decode what can be the trend, how can the trend continue, or if the trend has to reverse. Correct? Let's see how. Let's see daily CPR only. See, this is also, this one can be used across any form of time interval. That is, it can be used for positional, intraday, right? Technically not intraday, because we have to see a particular series that is at least 3 to 4 CPRs, right? So technically this works best if you have to enter a reversal trade, right? Or if you have to enter a swing reversal or positional reversal trade. So check this out very carefully. Let's switch off the candle here. Correct? And let me switch on to 1 hour, because we are talking about positional or swing trades. So let us see let us see this on 15 minutes only. Okay. Just see here. Okay. What do you see here now? Technically, if I was about to trade on 16th of September. For suppose, let's build a quick example, or you can say a quick hypothetical situation. Correct? Until you say, I don't know what was the market doing, or there are two types of examples here now. First, I don't know what is the market doing until you say 15th of September. First. Second, I am tracking this particular script from, you can say, from past 6-7 days or 6-7 trading sessions, right? And I'm waiting for a perfect entry or a perfect trend reversal to happen. Correct? So now we are currently on the day 16 September, and the market is yet to open. Correct? What do we see here? 16th of September, we see that after a series, okay, after a long series of ascending CPR, dip again this, we are seeing a lower value CPR. Correct? So there can be two possibilities. First, there can be a possibility of trend reversal if the CPR is not protected and is taken out, right? So ultimately, your 16th of September, I know that unless and until this particular point is taken out, 595 as a round number is taken out, or let's keep the round number as 600, 595 to 600, if it is not taken out, then we might reverse. Why? Because this is indicating me a start of reversal, not entire reversal. Correct? My entire reversal will be confirmed when this particular range is taken out. Why? Because I'm just talking about in terms of CPR. I'm not talking in terms of candlestick or price action, demand supply. As we are using CPR, we will only take CPR into consideration, and we will just observe this particular thing. Right? This is for conservative traders. Riskers, again, as I said, they can go short below this pivot. Correct? With the stop loss of this thing or buffer of this thing as a positional trade. Why? Simply because it is showing you an early sign of reversal. Correct? But the confirmation would only come here. Why? Because as you see here, this also was a trend reversal indication, right? But what happened? Again, the next day, it was in line, and again you see. So this was technically a dip, right? So that is why I'm telling, unless and until this range breaks, we cannot confirm that this is a downtrend, right? So you see what happened here. Series of the trend entirely reversed here. Correct? Now let's see with this candlesticks what's happening here. Let me switch on to 1 hour. Look, right? See the box. You might also ask me that the box is not correctly drawn. This is just because we are considering CPR, not the candlestick range, right? And you can see this is also, now see the confluences. This is also, if you are a demand and supply trader, right? Let me take this here. This was the day start, correct? So see, drop, base, drop, correct? So this is also a supply zone here. So you have got a confluence also. Now see what happened exactly. On 16th of September, what happened is price opened here slightly towards your day's closing, tried to go up, but what happened? Took a rejection from CPR, and you can see with a good volume, it took out everything and indicated that you can go short from here, right? And you can see where you are landing, correct? Again, pullbacks, trending. Let's see what is PEMA doing here. If anything, you can spot out with PEMA. Can you spot out something? With PEMA, it is more clear. Look, what a superb confluence is here. Break resistance from CPR, trend reversal after a series of ascending CPRs, a sudden descending CPR, right? Rejection, crossover, PEMA crossover happening from bullish to bearish, correct? And again, you're shorting opportunities here. So ideally, at 580, you could have shorted, right, the market, the particular script, and 595 600 you would have kept as a stop loss. So ideally 20 25 20 15 20 points stop loss, and trailing would be until and unless this particular unless and until this particular CPR is taken out, right? At least you can wait until and unless 585 or 590 goes off on a daily closing basis, because you are into a positional or swing trade, right? So you can see downtrend, it tried to reverse, but see, PEMA as a barrier, again downtrend. Now look what's happening. This is also interesting now. See, downtrend till 590, 585 to almost 85 to 100. Sorry, yes. 80 to 85 points downfall, correct? So assuming that 510 to 580, 70 points when compared to like 15 20 points of stop loss. Around you can say 1 is to 2 2.75 3 ka risk to reward, right? So see what is happening here now. Series of descending CPRs, but what is actually happening here is, see, on 30 of September, market it closed above PEMA, or sorry, it opened above PEMA, right? And you can see, so now from here on, it is a probability of 50 to 60% that the trend is reversed. Why I'm telling 50 to 60? Because you do not know on 30 of September that what can be the day closing and what can be the next day CPR, right? Unless and until you are in the last hour of the market, correct? So till then, we will just consider this as a particular a higher probability of a trend reversal, right? But you see what happened. CPR was ascending, highly ascending, because the open and close is far away, right? And then you can see a consolidation and again a fall. But this is actually now, this is actually now working as your support. Look, for price action traders, see, sorry, it technically, if you see, this is somewhere or the other, someone is hunting your stop loss, correct? Someone is hunting your stop loss here because they are just going slightly down to find out if there is any more shorters left, right? And simultaneously they are flushing out, or you can say, uh, yes, flushing out the weekends too, correct? By applying Camarilla, you can just spot out some additional data points too. But just seeing the CPRs, you can just observe like how a particular stock is doing in terms of trend, right? So the main purpose was here was to tell you that only with the help of CPRs, PEMAs, right, how you can spot some particular trend in making, correct? Now you can apply RSI, right? You can apply volume, you can apply demand zones, supply zones, price action, right? And any sort of that thing to just help you get a particular view, right? Now at least we know that. Just roughly drawing a trend line, right? This is a rough trend line just for, okay? See, IG. So unless and until this thing, now you see here, let's check this on 15 minutes now. So sorry for that noise. See, what is the developing CPR telling me? Look, it is exactly a bearish, right? Now you can be more specific with your observations. Why I told that, if it goes below L3, you might see a good downfall. Again, a trend continuation towards your 500 also. 500 being a round number. And you see, where is L3 here? L3 is somewhere at the even the support level of those who were hunting the stop losses, right? So you can see why is L3 important for Monday, and even H3 is important for Monday, or BC is important for Monday, correct? If it breaks this, it might just open gap up, go here, break this thing, and you can see it would be a complete trend reversal, correct? But up till now, we cannot consider it as a trend reversal because it has not crossed PEMA. Also, the formation is descending, right? So maybe after Monday, you can get to decide if Tuesday has somewhere somewhat like higher CPR, then we might just say that yes, it can give you a trend reversal. But everything will depend on Monday, how the price is reacting, how the script is doing, correct? So this is the entire range. Oh my God, these kids. Okay. So this was something about CPR reversals, correct? Now I also have like a particular swing setup, which is also based on Pivot Boss. That is from the book called Professional Price Action Levels, right? And the setup is known as stop and setup. So I guess it is already too much of time now. If I get time next weekend, we can come up with stop and setup, right? So till now, I guess this should be enough for the session, because we also have some questions to answer, and you also have a good weekend to enjoy. So let's keep it here up till, yeah, I guess this should be enough for today, right? For next further concepts and some you can say some further what do you say, some further analysis, because see, this is a very vast, not very you can say a sea of experience, or a sea of concepts which I can go on explaining till tomorrow morning, or even till Monday end also, right? But the thing is, time is the constraint here. Being a weekend, you also have some good time to enjoy with your family. And being a festival season, I hope I should not take more time than this. So we will quickly move on to like question and answer from here, right? And for further analysis, if you like today's session, then and if you are wanting to see this analysis further, then we can just connect for one more session on next weekend as well. Correct? So yeah, one more thing. If you guys, if some of the guys are like practicing pivot boss, right? Because I got many DMs regarding some resource which can help you like getting everything in one place, right? For that, I will just send that particular. I have a sheet. We have like formulated a sheet based on pivot boss concept. So I would just send that across to your FTU admin. That is Pashuram, right? Pashuram bro, I will forward it to you. If anyone wants, you can just directly contact him and he will forward it to you, right? But just for a glance, I will show you just a quick glance of it, how it looks, so that you have an idea. So this is something like this, right? A quick review. It has indices, Nifty 50, Nifty 500, right? Entire Nifty 500 stock and a particular dedicated FNO stock. So we will discuss this in the upcoming, you can say, upcoming session, right? It has got pivot print, narrow CPR range, GPZ, correct? So I will just forward this to Pashuram. If you want to get some additional resource, you can just contact him and get it, right? So for today, this was all from my side, right? I understand that this might be boring for someone because this was all basics, but this was important because there were some beginners too who were wanting to like learn about pivot boss. That is why I decided to, like, instead of replying to DMs, I just decided to go across and take a session altogether to get a mixed audience of, even if you're a beginner, then it would be good for you. Even if you are good with pivot boss concept, then this can be a revision for you, right? But let me remind you that there is much more to this, but time is less, so we will just wind up the session here, and we would further go on with Q&A, right? Thank you guys. This was all from my side today. Now we'll proceed to Q&A.
Thanks for the wonderful session. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a quick two questions on the GP set golden pivot zone? Okay. First question is it really matter whether the H3 or L3 falls between the pivot on BC or pivot on TC, like whether it's the bottom or the top? Does it really matter, or is both are same? Second question is there any difference of H3 forming a golden pivot zone or L3 forming a pivot zone? Can I assume that if it is H3, is going to be bearish or bullish, something else? These are the two questions. Thank you.
Okay. Let me answer it. Just a minute. Yeah, guys. Actually, there was some firecrackers noise, so I should. Okay, so yeah, so you asked me that about golden pivot zone, right?
That's correct. The first question is whether does it really matter whether that H3 or LT falls between the pivot on BC or the top of
Exactly.
the pivot or the bottom of the pivot? Is it really matter?
Yes, bro. Because when I say that GPZ is a concept, or is you can say a setup with the highest accuracy, definitely it has to get some set of rules which makes it a GPZ, right? So for GPZ setup to form, it is compulsory for any of the pivot level. It can be like any, suppose H3, L3, H4, L4. Technically, H4 and L4 generally you get to see in like rarest of rare event, right? But technically, H3 and L3 are like you can say those two levels which falls within the CPR frequently to form a GPZ, right? So whenever there is H3 or L3 within the CPR, then only you can consider that to be a GPZ, correct? Or yes. So this was the first answer. Second, whenever there is H3 within the CPR, it is considered as a bearish GPZ, and simultaneously vice versa. Whenever L3 is within the CPR, you consider it to be a bullish GPZ.
Thank you very much. A quick one, another one. When we say H3 within the pivot zone, does it really matter whether it is forming on the top of like between pivot and TC?
No. It can wherever. I'm sorry. You can say it can be anywhere, but the main point is it should be within the TC and BC. It might be above the pivot, it might be below the pivot, it might be slightly, or it might be even confluencing with your TC or BC, right? Unless and until it is crossing your TC or crossing your BC, it is still it still would be considered as a GPZ, right?
Yeah, fine. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, anything more, guys?
Yeah, can I ask you one question?
Yeah, sure.
I have seen that CPR above line is PC and below line is BC normal should be, but in some cases top line is below the CPR and bottom CPR is above the CPR. Is it okay?
I exactly didn't get you. What are you trying to ask?
There are three lines. One is PC, one is center line, one is bottom line, right?
Okay.
And sometimes in some of the charts we have seen that PC is below the CPR and BC is above the main center line.
Okay.
Is this okay?
Okay, so you're asking about the placement of TC and BC, right?
Correct, that's right.
So in terms of what? Means in reference to pivot or in reference to the like shift of TC upside and shift of TC being on upside or BC being on upside?
Correct. Top mean I thought top above the center line and bottom is below the center line. But
okay. So So firstly, see, let me explain you in this way. Whenever there is technically, if you are in an uptrend, right, always you would see TC on the top and BC on the bottom, right? But whenever the stock is going into downtrend or it is into a formation, you would always see BC on the top and TC on the bottom.
Okay.
Correct. So simply you can just check any charts, right? Just simply check that whenever there was a trend reversal, how the shift has how the particular shift has happened, right? You would see that a particular shift of TC and BC has also taken place. So that is also a particular point where you see a particular trend reversal coming in, and that is a short confirmation, because until and unless if TC is going below, right, and BC is coming up, so BC will now act as a very strong resistance. You saw the chart of IGL, right? It was not even able to touch BC when it was reversing, because that was such a strong seller's zone, or sellers might be there at that particular level.
Okay. And these indicators are, as you said, if we request to Parshuram, will be able to send us, and we have to with our.
See, okay. See, we also have. Actually, we are working upon one script, so it would be completed by Sunday. So what I will do is we will take up one more session, because for that, see, we have PB sheets, we have PB scanners, trackers, indicators, that is entirely formulated based on pivot boss, right? So for the basic indicators, I will send it to Pashuram, right? You can request the same, means the material from him, right? And for that particular indicator, which was showed to you in the, what do you say, webinar, that I will just conduct one more session, because that is something which is means there are some concepts which are completely like out of the book, and you need to understand it once, so that you don't go wrong anywhere, right? Because that is entire there are some levels which we have put in by our personal bias. So I assume that we should first explain it to you rather than giving it out right now, so that you have a particular concept in mind, that how to use that, and you can use that in your day-to-day trading, as well as swing positional, right, setups. But also, let me remind you that the one setup which I talked about, and I purposely kept it for the next session, that is top end, because this is like a magic, you can say a magic trick which works in markets. And this is literally works by its name, stop and, right? It literally means, how I can say it, like it literally can give you bottoms, right, or temporary bottoms or temporary tops, correct? And you can work according to that. So that is also a very, very good accuracy setup by pivot boss. So, and that is too vast to it needs around 1 hour to explain everything in that particular thing, right? But once you understand that, you don't need any other setup, any other levels. You just can work upon that solely, and you can generate good profits. That is for sure.
Great work by you.
Sorry?
Great work by you and your team.
Yes, bro. Definitely.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, guys, anything else?
This pivot data crossover is, I mean, I searched in your forwarded, but I could not able to find that. The dema and pure dema is one and the same? Hello?
Hello, Mukul Bhai.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was using the mic on. Sorry, sir. Yeah. What you were saying?
Mukul Bhai.
Yes.
I am also Vikram's 15 pattern candlesticks scenario. Is it good to take on the 15 patterns according to pivot?
Means you are telling me that to trade on that particular 15 patterns, right?
Yes, I already practiced, but
right.
I don't back test it. That's why I'm asking.
See, bro. Comment on this, but generally, see what happens is. Let me be very specific. He's also very good with the concepts, but the purpose there was to just give you like something new or some patterns that work in market, right? But
yes.
Alone with the patterns of candlestick, you cannot take up trades, or you cannot spot some confluence area, or you can get a particular, you can say, good RRs or something like that, right? But what if like you see one setup getting fulfilled, but you have an immediate support or supply levels on the upper hand, correct?
Yes.
What do you do then? So it is better that you trade with confirmations, because see, even candlesticks, even demand and supply requires candlesticks or bar charts, or you can say Heikenhashi, to plot a particular zone, right? Alone
Yes.
candlestick will not tell you anything. It might be that it is showing you reversal, but the very next candle, a big red candle can come in and it can take out profits of at least 2 or 3 days, right? You might have
Yes.
seen in Nifty, Bank Nifty.
Yes.
So I would not suggest you like trade
Okay.
alone on one thing. If you want to trade on a specific setup, just assure that you at least have 2 or more confluence on your particular set of entry, or even when you are exiting that particular script, right? So that you have that conviction that yes, it is giving me some confluence and it has something or the other on that particular zone, on that particular level, right? Now see, again, I don't want to flex, but see, this particular problem can be very. This particular problem has been solved by Mr. Frank in his masterclass videos, right? And specifically, it has given you what do you say, a setup called a stop hunt, right? There you can use particular candlestick patterns with that particular levels, so that you know that if a particular reversal pattern is happening on the support of stop hunt, definitely you can say that it is a temporary bottom, or you can say it is like a near bottom. मतलब इससे थोड़ा और नीचे कहीं मार्केट जा सकता है, right? But it would not like go you can say immediate below this, because this is where a bottom is being formed, right? And you can just take a buying trade, and vice versa for upper side too. So I would suggest you that see, as I said in my start of the session, that there would be many videos, books, materials, PDFs, through which you have possessed your knowledge about CPRs, pivots, right? But when I say that, or I guess it should be correct to say that you should learn from the master, right? And the master is one which is Mr. Frank. He has listed like A to Z, right? And he's a well-known author on Wall Street. So you can imagine like what kind of experience he would had, or even now he's posting his post-market analysis or pre-market analysis. You can refer them on YouTube, right? And for once, I would suggest you to just read the Secrets of Pivot Boss book, and I'm confident that it might change something or the other in your trading setup for sure.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome, bro.
Good evening, Mukul bhai.
Yeah, good evening. ये आपकी अशोक जी की आवाज लग रही है.
Okay. Thank you. मुकुल भाई, आज जो 2 घंटे का सेशन हुआ, इट वाज अ वेरी एक्सीलेंट सेशन. मुझे तो ऐसा लगा पूरा बुक का रिवीजन हो गया. जो 316 पेज का जो बुक था, वो आप 2 घंटे में खत्म कर दिया. It was a very nice session.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Also, I'm telling it again that it might be boring for someone because it was very much basic. But I assure you that the next session, if at all we ever get time, apart from this, that session is going to be like 100 or even 1,000 times better than this one. That is for sure. Because that has the main content of what actually is the you can say what actually is the reach and power of Pivot Boss to give you an edge over the markets. Like every setup has an edge, right? Even demand and supply has got you different form of patterns like QMs, FNL, then various concepts, right? Even market profile has like executed orders on point, so that you catch different biggies, or you can say institutions punching in orders, right? Similarly, Pivot Boss also has got an edge, which is in the form of various setups and some different concepts which are not in the book. So that will require time, and with coming time, if you start reading, if you're a beginner, start reading with the Secrets of Pivot Boss book, and if you are already done with it, I would request you to start with the video materials of Pivot Boss. I would share that too with Pashuramji, or he might be having it definitely, right? So you can ask him; he will share it to you. But please, for once, refer it, because in further sessions you might require something where you have to like have some basic knowledge of Pivot Boss. Yeah, bro. For crypto also, we have something coming up, right? Mostly next weekend. For crypto also, we will give you something. If you want to see a demo, I can show you a demo here. This is our crypto sheet, which is in backtesting, right? This is a crypto sheet. So wait for it. Everything will come up. Yeah, so anything else?
Is pivot, DEMA, and DEMA is one and the same?
Pivot, PEMA, and DEMA.
Pivot, double EMA and only DEMA.
No. No, they are slightly different, right? There would be slightly some difference in the values, right? Derived values. Rest, like it is a form of moving averages, right? Not like a sort of big difference, but yes, when you have to use it in the form of Pivot Boss concepts, right? Like in a form of confluence, then definitely it can give you some small crossovers, which are very important to spot some good trades in a particular swing trades or even intraday, right? So for that also we have created. I guess I have already shared that indicator. The whole named as PEMA trails. You can search on FTU once. I had shared it in the group. You can search it, and you will find that entire book of PEMA is coded under one indicator, and you can find each and every concept in that particular indicator. Each and every concept of that book in that particular indicator.
Because I tried to search on that given link, the pivot DEMA was not our only DEMA was there. That is why I thought.
Okay. If you are interested, you can just contact the admin, that is Pashuram bro. He would help you.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I think it is time that we should wind up. If you have any further questions, you can message me or directly in the FTU group. I would just see and get back to you, right? I hope you should go and enjoy with your family, because it is a long weekend, and I should not like take more time here, right? So further questions, if you have, you can DM me on my personal ID Divine, right? Or it would be much convenient if you ask on the FTU group, so that everyone gets to know about that journal question and answer, right?
Okay, thank you, Mukul bhai. Good night.
Yeah. Good night. Arey, good night. I thought you might be going somewhere, इसलिए मैं session end कर रहा हूँ.
नहीं, अभी तो गरबा खत्म हो गया ना मनुक का गरबा खत्म हुआ, आज से थोड़ा आराम करेंगे.
अरे गरबा
मुकुल भाई, गुजरात के आपने बड़ौदा के गरबे देखा नहीं है ना? मैं आपको एक वीडियो भेजता हूँ आपका